Hello students, this video is for worksheet number 2. It's a continuation, so this video will help you with numbers 7, 8, and 9. So please be ready to work on number 7. This is the worksheet you should have in front of you, number 7. Brian and Jose were working at a pizza place. Brian can make 7 pizzas each hour on average, and Jose can make 9 pizzas per hour on average. Brian earns $14 an hour, and Jose earns $15 per hour. One day, the two boys made a total of 57 pizzas, and they earned a combined income of $102. Construct a system of equations that represents this situation. Make sure to identify the variables that you're using and each equation. So here's how you do this problem. I do recommend you pause the video and try this on your own first, and then check out the rest of my explanation. The first thing you have to do is identify the two different equations. So I underlined in red the first statement. It all has to do with making pizzas. How many Brian makes, how many Jose makes. It's all about making pizzas. So that's what my first statement is going to be about. On the bottom, it talks about that they made a total of 57 pizzas. So again, it's all with the same topic of making pizzas. So the statements about pizzas made is what I underlined in red. And it says that Brian can make 7 pizzas. So I'm going to use B for Brian, and I'm going to put that represents how many hours he worked, because he can make 7 pizzas for each hour. And for Jose, I'm going to use the letter J, and the J represents the number of hours that Jose works. So then for the pizzas made, I just grabbed the numbers from the statement. If Brian can make 7 pizzas an hour, then I'm going to use 7B. That represents Brian. 7 pizzas for every hour that Brian works. And if you keep on reading, you see that Jose can make 9 pizzas. So for him, I'm going to use 9J. 9 pizzas an hour for Jose. Altogether one day, they made 57 pizzas, the total. So the key word is total. That kind of tells me to put an equal sign and then the 57. So here it is, equals 57. Now there's more information here that we need to look at. I'm going to underline in blue, the second piece of information. Here it talks about money. Brian earns $14 an hour, and Jose earns $15 per hour. Then they talk about money again down here, that one day they made $102 altogether. So I'm going to put this information all together down here. So now there's a statement about the money made. So what I have in blue is all about money. So how much does Brian make? Can you guess what I'm going to put in front of the B? Yes, he makes $14 per hour. So this is Brian's money. And Jose makes $15 per hour. All together, combined, they made $102. This is our answer for number 7. You need to put everything you see on the screen to fully explain what our equations mean. Now we need to solve the system that we just created. So here are our 2 equations. We need to use elimination, the crossout method. I don't have a lot of room over here, so I'm just going to write the problems below. I just rewrote them. Now what you're going to do is you're going to try to cross something out. Look at the B's. 7 could cross out with the 14. What can you multiply 7 by to make it turn into a 14? And I want it to be a negative 14 so that it could cancel out with this bottom positive 14b. What am I going to multiply by? Hopefully you're thinking negative 2. If I multiply all of these by -2, here is what I'll get. -2 times 7 is -14b. -2 times +9, that's a -18j. Last one, -2 times 57. Go ahead and grab a calculator, no shame in that. Your answer will be -114. For the next step, you're just going to scoot this guy over. Don't do anything to the bottom because we have this 14 already, and it's going to cancel out with this -14 on top. They are opposites of each other. Next, you're going to combine your J's. What happens if you owe $18 and you only have $15? You're going to pay it and you're still going to owe $3. So the answer here is -3. Again, feel free to use that calculator. 102 take away 114 gives me a -12. J needs to be by itself. We have to solve for J. How do you get rid of this -3 that's being multiplied to the J? When they're close together like this, that means they're being multiplied. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by the -3. Don't forget to take the negative sign with you. Do it to both sides. The -3's cancel out and J is alone. 3 goes into 12 4 times. A negative over a negative equals a positive. So this will be a +4. We are still not done. We have to go back for the other letter in this problem. We have to go back for the B. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one of these equations to finish the problem. What do you think is easier to work with? The top equation with these smaller numbers or the bottom equation with the bigger numbers? You get the same answer no matter what you pick, but I recommend you go with the top because the numbers are smaller. So I just brought it down. Now I need to plug in this piece of information. Where do you think I'm going to put the 4? Yes, I'm going to put it in the J spot. J equals 4. So instead of a J, plug in a 4. Now you're just going to work this out. 9 times 4 is 36. You want to get the B by itself, but the 36 is bothering the B, and so is the 7. But first, get rid of the 36 because it's furthest away. How do you get rid of a plus 36? That's right, you subtract 36. Do it to both sides. The 36's will cancel out and you will be left with 7b equals 21. Again, how do you get rid of the 7 when it's close to the b like this? You divide by 7 on both sides. Cross out the 7's. What does b equal? Well, 7 goes into 21 perfectly. 7 goes into 21 3 times. So b equals 3. Make sure you show all of this work on your worksheet. Let's move on to number 9. What does your answer mean? So J equals 4 and B equals 3. But what does it mean in terms of the story about Jose and Brian making pizzas and getting paid for them? So Jose worked for 4 hours and Brian worked for 3 hours. You know this because we said at the beginning that J represented the amount of hours that Jose worked and B represented the number of hours that Brian worked. We are done for the video lessons for today. Try the rest of the problems on the worksheet and put them into Canvas to see if you are right. Once you get 100% on those problems, you'll be ready to quiz for the day. Thank you.